Hey everybody, it's Dave. Welcome back to the channel. I know I haven't put out a video recently, but it's just been so busy this time of year that I really haven't had time, so I do apologize. But we're going to spend a little time in the beehive today. It's another hot, humid day here on the East Coast in weather-wise, and although we got a break from 90 plus 95 degrees, it's still in the 80s with 70, 80, 85% humidity. Kind of a sauna. We had some heavy rain showers this morning as a cold front moved through that dropped it from mid 90s down to mid 80s, and so we had some rain and some thunderstorms and all that. But I got most of the bees done yesterday. Ran out of time because of said thunderstorms that also popped up yesterday, and I had 2 hives left. My really big hive, which is not the one we do on camera, and now I've got the one that we do. So we're going to dig into this hive. We're going to take a little bit of honey. This year most of my hives are first year hives. I had 6 hives last year, and 4 of them I actually lost. It was a bad year for hives locally. I've spoken to some other beekeepers and everyone did poorly. However, 2/3 loss, I guess I might have taken the cake. So hopefully we're doing better, and we're taking care of things a little bit better. To that end, we're going to be doing more feeding in the fall here, as well as an additional mite treatment. So that's what we're going to be putting on today. I use a product called Formic Patties or Formic Pro. Not saying that's the only one. I know I give this same disclaimer every time. This is what I do. I have no affiliation with them. I have no links. It's what I do. So we're going to show you how to put those on the brood nest. Formic acid is basically a fume. It almost fumigates the hive. It gets into the cells. It gets into the brood, and it will dislodge and kill the mites that are in the hive, and that will make the hive stronger going into the winter when the queen stops laying so many eggs. You want these bees that are being produced right now to be as strong as possible, because many of them will live till February, March, April of next year, because they have to keep the hive alive, because the queen stops. We're in dwindling hours of daylight, therefore she's dwindling the amount of eggs she produces, and after December 21st she'll slowly start increasing again, but only when she has all the proper resources, and that does mean nectar and pollen. So but that's down the road, and we'll hopefully cover that later this season. Today, Formic Pro, we're going to take a little bit of honey. They're first year hives, and those there's a lot of back and forth. Some people say you can take some honey, some people say you shouldn't take any honey. This hive, the last time we checked it, I felt was strong enough that we're probably going to be able to take some honey off of it. Despite it having been a first year hive, it was very early. We had it early out in the field, and it's done very well. So let's get into it. Okay, we're back, and we're at our regular hive, our channel hive, our YouTube hive. Talked about in the intro real quick about what we're doing, so we're going to get right into it. If you've been following along, then you know what we've been doing here. We've been checking the hive every couple weeks and taking you through a summer with a hive. So pop the lid off. And we got a good number of bees up on the top here. Decent. And then we're going to, let me scrape some of this off real quick. I hate scraping this off before winter. This propolis is literally like it's like they chink all the cracks with it to keep the drafts out. But we've still got a fair amount of weather here that I'm going to be checking on this hive, and it just really becomes difficult. You can you see around the edge on that? That just is, it's like gum. It's like tar. And then when it gets cold, it hardens just like concrete. Mother Nature truly is amazing. Go on. Go on, girls. And this is just one example. Well, beehives in general I find amazing. I just can't get, I find them fascinating. The communication, their ability to work with one another, and just all their instincts, just totally geared towards survival. So, what do we have going on here? We're going to pull this top box off. This top box is packed full of honey. And I'm not sure how they're doing underneath. But we are going to take this box because we are going to be feeding them here over the next several weeks. I want to make sure they're left with enough. When a beehive gets to there's all honey, capped honey, and every single frame in the top of this box is like this. So, yeah, we're going to take this off. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and pull this box off, and then I will probably set it off to the side while we're working, and hopefully some of the bees will vacate it, smell the queen in the box, and oh, this one's on good, and go back to the hive. Holy cow. Well, it doesn't help. Alright, well, we've got so here we go. They've built comb underneath here apparently. And what's happening is as I'm trying to pull the box up, we are, number one, we're ticking the bees off. Okay. Didn't want to smoke you, but you're going to get some smoke. Ooh. All right. So, when I first opened the box, I was thinking, wow, they're really docile. They got angry quick. I might even need to step away for a minute. Yeah, they stung me through the gloves 3 or 4 times just now. Alright, so what we've got, ow, you're stinging me again. Okay, they're really in. Alright, I'll be stepping away for a second. Alright, we're back as you can see, and they are still quite angry. So, what needs to happen basically is I have to pull the frames out of the box that I showed you, and then they're just enraged. Brush them off and then take them. Brush the bees off, and then we'll take them out of the yard. Now we're going to get down here, and I'm just going to go through these hopefully quickly, one at a time, brush the bees off, and then get the frame somewhere else. Okay, so we're going to pull this up. Now normally I'd do this over the hive, but the hive is a hot mess right now. But I've got this box sitting on top of the cover, and so any bees that I brush off that aren't able to fly, might be nurse bees, those sorts of things, like immature bees, they will go right into that cover, and then we'll dump them back into the hive in a few minutes. Now, as you'll see as we go here, a lot of the bees will jump right back onto the comb that I've brushed off, but that is what it is. There's really no getting around that, because they're going to go where they want to go. And as you can see, I'm certainly not able to stop them. They are feisty today. The honey, however, I hope you can see that, looks fantastic. Let's talk about what's going to go on next. So they've got another honey super, and they've got the brood box, both of which have honey in them. And then they've still got, we still have a lot of fall flowers that haven't even bloomed yet. The asters and things like that. And they can get a lot of nectar still in the next 2 months. Our last frost date is around November 15th. Today is September, I don't know, around the 10th. So they've got 2 months easily before frost. We start getting temperatures regularly in the 50s by the beginning of November, end of October, and that generally signals when you cannot any longer feed the bees with syrup, with liquid syrup, because it's too cold. They can't take it in, it chills their bodies, and then they end up having all sorts of other issues. However, they can continue to be fed fed internally in the hive, but supplementally with what is called sugar fondant, which is basically made by mixing a small amount of water with just regular sugar, letting it dry. It forms an extremely hard complex that the bees can then feast on inside the box. You can put it right inside the box. And we'll go over that. We'll talk about that and show that on another video. Alright, I got the last ones. One more to go here. Go on, girls. I know I'm stealing. I know I am. There's also a way you can do this with a big blower. It's like a vacuum cleaner, except it goes in reverse, and it just blows the bees right off the frames. But I never invested in one of those. Okay, all done with that. But we still got to put the mite treatment on, and be right back. Okay, so I was taking the honey. I've got 10 hives. Most of them are first-year hives, and so I've really only taken the equivalent of maybe 2 boxes of honey. A little from here, a little from there, but everybody's still got quite a bit left, which is always my philosophy. We're going to scrape this. This stuff was what was causing me to have trouble a few minutes ago getting that other box off. They've gummed these frames together. All right, and we're all set. Okay. Now let's take this box off, this top one right here. I can look in there. It's decently full. It's if I wanted to, there's certainly at least 4 or 5 frames in there that I could probably swipe honey from, but I don't want to. We're gonna leave that for them. By the weight, I'd say that's about 20 pounds of honey, 15, 20 pounds. And then if I lift this box, that's probably another 20 or 30 pounds, so we're getting there. And we, like I said before, we've still got several weeks that we're going to be feeding them. And time for them to get strong, get good, get healthy. So, I'm not going to dig in here. There's plenty of bees there. I have no doubt that the queen is fine. I am clearing them off the top though, to get this comb off. Scrape all that off. And then to put the, so here's the patties. They come in a foil bag, and then they're wrapped in this foil outer wrapper. I'm going to toss this on the ground for the moment. It won't stay there. Now, these two patties tear apart, yep, and they are very strong. Very strong. Imagine vinegar, but much, much stronger. It's called formic acid. Vinegar is acetic acid. They're similar. They're not exactly the same. But I want to get those off there because I'm going to lay these on here, and I don't want to cover up a big pile of bees. So we lay them on. Oops. We want the formic acid to cover all the frames, hit all the frames. And then they're going to overlap these ones in the middle because that's where most of the brood is. So what will happen is the bees, in their movements around the box, will move the formic acid around. It will get incorporated into the brood, and it will help to knock down the mites and reduce the mite load, as well as improve the health, of course, then of the bees. So we're just going to put this all right back together. Once again, trying not to crush bees. Now, oh, wow, the box I'm getting ready to put back on, I got to smoke it too. Okay. Oh. All right. So we've got the box back on. Now, here's the one thing we're going to do. This is the box I had on there earlier. Damn, one got me again. Pardon my French. That's the box that I had earlier. And when this formic acid starts going, especially on the first few days, it's very strong. I don't want it to be, you want it to be condensed in there. You want the vapor in there, but you don't want it too much. So to that end, I'm concerned that only having one deep brood box and one honey super, it'll be too heavy for the bees in there, the fumes. So I'm going to take this box, which is the one I just took off, and I'm just going to stick it right back on there, just empty. And that will provide a space for the fumes, for the bees to go, just a little bit more room for it to disperse. The patties stay on for 14 days. And at the end of that, we take them off, remove them. And then we may very well do a second treatment after that. But you have to wait a little bit of time after that too. So you can't just hit them one right after the other. My goodness, girls, you are so angry today. Okay. This is the 10th hive. This has been by far the most aggressive, which is strange because most of the season, I even have commented on it several times, it really has been one of the least aggressive. However, we're done, and I'll be back with you in a second. I've moved off into the trees to get, number one, get a little shade, number two, get away from the bees. However, I'm still being love bombed by them. So I can't take the coat off of the hat yet. And plus, you guys know you love it. My sexy bee jacket. So, if you have any comments or questions, by all means, please leave them down below. I'm trying to remember if I covered everything. It got a little hectic there. The bees went crazy, and I told my son, and he may have edited it out. I don't know. Well, I'll find out, I guess, when I get it back. I've been stung probably 15 or 20 times on my hands, so my hands are going to be a little puffy at the 40-hour-a-week job tomorrow. They do get aggressive. It's a known phenomenon. They definitely get aggressive in the fall. They know that the season's coming to an end. They become very aggressive as far as protecting themselves and getting as many resources as possible. So pulling honey out in September, you know, it's kind of its own risk. But be that as it may, we're done. And we'll probably do a quick video just showing me uncapping, maybe just like a short showing me uncapping and all that. In the meantime, we're done here for today. So if you like what you saw, and if you're still with me, man, I appreciate it. You watched the video to the end. So few people do that. You're a rock star. You saw a title of a video that you thought you'd like, and you stuck with it. So again, I appreciate it. Please like and subscribe. Please like and share. It helps me, helps the videos. You know that it helps the channel. All that good stuff. All that YouTube stuff. And I will see you on the next video. Stay safe, stay prepared, and have a good one. Thank you very much.